Well, the Avs and Nuggets now turn their attention to the playoffs. The Nuggets will start on Saturday. Today, we heard from the team president, Josh Kroenke. First time he's been talking out loud about the firings of head coach Michael Malone. And
Denver Nuggets Vice Chairman Josh Kroenke has sent shockwaves through the NBA community with his stunning press conference on the controversial dismissals of head coach Michael Malone and general manager Calvin Booth. What was intended as damage control has instead left many viewing his comments as a public humiliation of the coach who delivered Denver its first ever NBA championship. In a nearly 30-minute media session Monday, Kroenke made the jaw-dropping admission that he had been contemplating firing Malone since November, just months after the coach led the franchise to its first title in 47 years. The timing of the dismissal, with only 3 games left in the regular season and the playoffs looming, has left basketball analysts and fans alike struggling to make sense of the decision. I think at the very end of the day, it was a very tough decision because of the amount of respect that I personally have and that we as an organization have for what those gentlemen did for us while they were here, Kroenke said before delivering the bombshell. To be frank, neither of them deserved it, and so for that, I apologize.
I think at the very end of the day, it was a very tough decision because of the amount of respect that I personally have and that we as an organization have for both of what those gentlemen did for us while they were here.
This extraordinary admission has many questioning Kroenke's leadership. How can an executive fire a championship-winning coach who didn't deserve it and then publicly acknowledge this fact? The basketball world is buzzing with reactions to what some are calling one of the most bizarre press conferences in recent NBA history.
And, you know, to be frank, neither of them deserved it. And so for that, I apologize. For my position,
Kroenke revealed he nearly pulled the trigger on firing Malone twice before. First around Thanksgiving when the team was off to an 8-6 start, and again during the February All-Star break. In the latter case, he was deterred only because the team was in the midst of an 8-game winning streak. What would be crazier, Kroenke asked reporters, me doing what I did last week or doing it on an 8-game win streak?
What would be crazier, me doing what I did last week or doing it on an 8-game win streak?
The vice chairman went on to dismiss the significance of that winning streak, noting that only one victory came against a playoff-bound team. I think that those 8 games masked a trend that was going on behind closed doors that ultimately started to really affect the end of our season. He explained.
You know, I'd have to go back and look, but I think that those 8 games masked a trend that was going on behind closed doors that ultimately started to really affect the end of our season, and that's why I jumped the way I did.
Kroenke alluded to tension between Malone and Booth as the primary driver behind his decision, suggesting their discord had created a toxic environment within the organization. According to multiple sources, the coach and GM had long clashed over roster philosophies, with their relationship deteriorating to the point where it began affecting team operations. I can see certain trends behind the scenes with the group, Kroenke said, and those were worrisome. What makes the situation even more awkward is that immediately following the dismissals, the Nuggets won all 3 of their remaining regular season games under interim coach David Adelman. This perfect finish secured a 3rd consecutive 50-win season and the 4th seed in the Western Conference, giving Denver home court advantage in their first-round playoff series against the Los Angeles Clippers. Kroenke's timing has left many questioning whether this was truly about improving the team's playoff chances or if personal conflicts drove the decision. The Nuggets vice chairman claimed he made the move with the hope of kind of rejuvenating the energy of the group and reestablishing some positive thoughts before the playoffs. Adding another layer to this drama, Kroenke shared a personal anecdote about how difficult the day of the firings was for him. Last Tuesday was the craziest Tuesday that I could have ever imagined. I had the worst morning that I've had in over 10 years with the Nuggets, followed by the most amazing afternoon I could have ever asked for with the Arsenal Football Club, Kroenke said, referencing his family's ownership of the English soccer club. We beat Real Madrid 3-0 in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. On a human level, that was a rough Tuesday for me. It was all over the place.
In their quarterfinals of the Champions League, and we're going into Spain this week, you know, with a chance to advance. They need to stay focused. They got a lot of things that they're dealing with too, but on a human level, that was a rough Tuesday for me. It was all over the place.
This comment has drawn particular criticism, as it appeared to equate the emotional impact of firing two men who had committed years to his organization with the joy of watching another team he owns win a soccer match. Kroenke also addressed rumors about his relationship with forward Michael Porter Jr., who attended the same college, Missouri, as Kroenke. Reports had suggested Kroenke refused to approve trading Porter, but he firmly denied this. If it wasn't such a serious accusation, I would probably laugh a little harder. I'd say any kind of report that we're not open to trading everybody possible to improve the team is completely false. As for three-time MVP Nikola Jokic, Kroenke indicated he had offered the superstar a chance to discuss the decision after it had already been made. According to Kroenke, Jokic simply responded with a head nod of no. You have a responsibility when you have a player like that, especially, obviously, in his prime. Kroenke said, but I feel an even greater responsibility to the person. I'd be the dumbest guy in basketball if I wasn't asking him for his opinion on certain things. But it's my responsibility to make those decisions for the best of the organization, and I think Jokic understands and respects that. Kroenke has promoted Ben Tenzer to interim GM for the playoff run, but stated he won't begin searching for permanent replacements for Malone and Booth until after the season concludes. When asked if he would hire a new GM before a head coach, Kroenke deflected, "My thoughts aren't there because this season's not over." As the Nuggets prepare to face the Clippers in Game 1 on Saturday, this front office drama threatens to overshadow what should be a promising playoff run. Malone, who spent 10 seasons with Denver and posted the highest winning percentage in franchise history, must now watch from afar as the team he built competes for another championship. What do you think about Kroenke's handling of this situation? Was firing a championship coach with 3 games left in the season a strategic masterstroke or a massive blunder? And how will Malone's dismissal affect Denver's chances of making another deep playoff run? The drama is just beginning as the basketball world waits to see if Kroenke's controversial decision will be vindicated or condemned by the Nuggets' postseason performance.
Jason Tatum can play. He's all right. I'm not going to bash him, but Ben Simmons need to be all right. 250 for that.
NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal recently criticized former first overall pick Ben Simmons on The Big Podcast with comedian Roy Wood Jr. O'Neal didn't hold back, delivering a harsh assessment of the Los Angeles Clippers guard. No one expected this. Ben Simmons needs to be F-king arrested, O'Neal said in a moment of unfiltered candor that immediately went viral. $250 million for that Bulls tee. Get the FK out of my face. Robbing people, man. You can't do that. Shaquille O'Neal's harsh criticism has sparked a heated debate on social media and sports talk shows about player value, responsibility, and the changes in the modern NBA.
Like Ben Simmons, okay. He need to be arrested.
What about like a Jason Tatum?
Jason Tatum can play. He's all right. I'm not going to bash him, but Ben Simmons need to be all right. 250 for that.
Arrested, did you say?
Arrested. $250 million for that. Get the f*** out of my face. Robbing people, man. Can't do that.
The Hall of Famer's comments were part of a broader critique of today's NBA, which he believes has deteriorated significantly from the era in which he dominated. People get mad. It's just a product of what I've seen, O'Neal explained. I've seen what greatness is, been there, played with them. I don't see that all the time over here. So, you want me to give these motherfuckers the same props you giving them? That ST will never happen. You can call it hate if you want.
Probably Morphew's going in, but people get mad. It's just a product of what I see. I've seen what greatness is. Been there, played with them. I don't see that all the time over here. So you want me to give these the same props I'm giving them? That will never happen. So you can call it hate if you want.
O'Neal's criticism of Simmons comes against the backdrop of the guard's well-documented career trajectory. After being selected first overall by the Philadelphia 76ers in the 2016 NBA Draft, Simmons initially lived up to his potential, winning Rookie of the Year honors and earning 3 consecutive All-Star selections. This promising start led to a massive $170 million contract extension with Philadelphia in 2019, setting expectations that Simmons has struggled to meet in subsequent seasons. Since then, Simmons' career has been plagued by injuries and diminishing returns. He missed the entire 2021-22 season while dealing with both physical and mental health challenges before being traded to the Brooklyn Nets as part of the blockbuster deal that sent James Harden to Philadelphia. His tenure in Brooklyn was similarly disappointing, with sporadic appearances and statistics that paled in comparison to his Philadelphia prime. Now with the Clippers, after being bought out by the Nets earlier this year, Simmons has appeared in just 17 games, averaging a meager 3.6 points and 3.4 assists in 17.5 minutes per contest, numbers that hardly justify his hefty salary. According to SpotTrack, Simmons has already earned over $203 million in his NBA career through 2024, a figure that seems to particularly incense O'Neal. What makes O'Neal's comments especially significant is his position as one of the NBA's most respected voices and his role on TNT's wildly popular Inside the NBA program. While O'Neal and his co-host Charles Barkley are known for their unvarnished opinions, this attack on Simmons represents an escalation in rhetoric that few saw coming. O'Neal acknowledged that he and Barkley have been criticized for calling out the modern game, but remains steadfast in his assessment that the product is ST compared to previous eras. Interestingly, O'Neal conceded that certain current stars met his standards of excellence. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Jason Tatum, Nikola Jokic, and Damian Lillard can play, O'Neal noted, providing a short list of players he believes could have thrived in any era. This selective praise makes his condemnation of Simmons all the more pointed, singling out the former number one pick as a primary example of what he sees as wrong with today's game. The timing of O'Neal's criticism coincides with Simmons' recent comments about feeling more at home in Los Angeles than he did in Brooklyn. "Feels like home, honestly," Simmons told the New York Post in late March. "I never really felt like New York was home for me. Being in LA, I feel like me as a person. It's my kind of scenery or environment to be in. I think I thrive in situations like that." These remarks, suggesting a preference for lifestyle over basketball impact, may have further fueled O'Neal's frustration with the player. O'Neal's assessment also touches on a broader conversation about player empowerment and accountability in the modern NBA. When stars like Simmons sign massive contracts but fail to deliver consistent value, whether due to injuries, performance, or other factors, it raises questions about the league's salary structure and the expectations placed on top draft picks and max contract players. This isn't the first time O'Neal has been critical of today's players. Throughout his broadcasting career, he has frequently challenged current stars to elevate their games and demonstrate the kind of dominance he believes defined previous eras. But his specific call for Simmons to be arrested for essentially defrauding NBA franchises represents a new level of criticism, one that has resonated with many fans frustrated by unfulfilled potential. From Simmons' perspective, injuries have played a significant role in his career downturn. Back issues, mental health struggles, and various other ailments have prevented him from displaying the all-around skill set that once made him one of the league's most intriguing young talents. While O'Neal acknowledged the role of injuries in general when discussing today's game, he showed little sympathy for Simmons' particular circumstances. O'Neal's message seems designed to motivate as much as criticize. "Show me greatness. Like, y'all pay a lot of money for these shoes and what for? I want to see be great. And I'm always going to stay on them and motivate them to be great," he explained during the podcast, suggesting that his harsh assessment comes from a place of wanting to see players maximize their potential rather than simply collecting paychecks. The reaction to O'Neal's comments has been mixed, with some applauding his honesty, while others question whether such public criticism is constructive or fair given the complexities of Simmons' situation. What's clear is that O'Neal's words have reignited discussion about Simmons' future and whether he can ever recapture the promise he showed early in his career. As Simmons continues his journey with the Clippers, playing alongside the same James Harden he was once traded for in a twist of NBA fate, O'Neal's scathing assessment will likely follow him. Whether it serves as motivation or additional pressure remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, Shaquille O'Neal has made his feelings abundantly clear, and the basketball world is still reeling from the force of his unfiltered opinion. What do you think about Shaq's brutal assessment of Ben Simmons? Given Simmons' career trajectory, is O'Neal's criticism justified, or is the Hall of Famer being too harsh on a player who has battled injuries? And what does this say about the expectations placed on #1 overall picks in today's NBA? The debate continues, fueled by one of the most dominant personalities in basketball history, delivering one of his most memorable off-court statements yet.
World. So we just got the unfortunate news this evening that Damian Lillard has been diagnosed with a blood clot in his right calf. Now, specifically right leg. It's not like it's a clot in the muscle itself.
The Milwaukee Bucks and their championship aspirations have been dealt a serious blow, as 9-time All-Star Damian Lillard has been diagnosed with deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot in his right calf, the team announced Tuesday. The 34-year-old guard has been placed on blood-thinning medication and will be sidelined indefinitely, sending shockwaves through the NBA as the playoffs loom just weeks away. What initially appeared to be routine calf soreness that caused Lillard to miss 3 games has now been revealed as a far more serious health concern. According to a league source close to the situation, alarm bells began ringing last Thursday when Lillard's discomfort extended beyond what would be expected from a typical calf strain. This prompted an extensive medical investigation that ultimately led to Tuesday's diagnosis after Lillard consulted with 5 top hematologists across the United States.
Of a horrendous missed call, holds on to a 117-114 victory.
Damian's health is our #1 priority. One priority. Bucks general manager John Horst said in a statement that underscored the gravity of the situation. We will support him as he moves through this weekly process of strict criteria to ensure that it is safe for him to return to play. Doctors have indicated that his situation is very unlikely to occur again. We are thankful that this was identified and medicated quickly, which helps with the recovery. While the team has not provided a specific timeline for Lillard's return, a league source told The Athletic that there is a great deal of optimism he will play again this season. However, the nature of blood clots requires careful medical management and a cautious approach to ensure Lillard's long-term health isn't compromised. He reportedly began taking blood thinners on Friday, with early signs indicating the treatment is working well. Lillard himself addressed the situation through a spokesman, saying, "It's unfortunate that something outside of my control would come up. Along with the Bucks medical staff, our priorities are to protect my health and safety. As much as I love basketball, I need to be there for my kids and my family. I'm grateful the Bucks acted quickly on this. They've been supportive and proactive throughout this process. I look forward to moving past this and continuing my career."
Been there, but didn't make it. But unfortunately, I had to be the fall guy. But hopefully, Devin Booker or somebody like that will get the spot.
No three-pointer either?
No. I don't think it makes sense to try to, force myself to be out there doing stuff just so I cannot miss out on it. I've been there, I've done it all before, and I'm sure I have more opportunities to do it, but I want to make sure that I'm healthy so when the break is over, I'm rested, and I guess.
The diagnosis comes at a critical juncture for the Bucks, who currently sit 5th in the Eastern Conference with a 40-31 record and 11 games remaining in the regular season. In 58 games this season, Lillard has averaged 24.9 points and 7.1 assists per game, along with 4.7 rebounds, making him a potential All-NBA candidate and a crucial piece of Milwaukee's championship puzzle.
Portis, Lillard, three-pointer, got it!
There you go.
Portis power on that possession. Welcome back, NBA Sunday Showcase presented by Popeyes. Fourth quarter underway as Lillard knocks down a 3. We're joined by Bucks head coach Rivers, Hubie, part of that 50-win team.
The Bucks acquired Lillard in a blockbuster trade before the season, pairing him with 2-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo in hopes of recapturing the championship magic that delivered the franchise its first title in 50 years. Back in 2021. At the trade deadline, the team doubled down on this strategy by trading longtime Buck Chris Middleton in a package for Kyle Kuzma, Kevin Porter Jr., and Jericho Sims to better complement their superstar duo. I think that it's more about how do we make the top 2 guys their best selves, and how does everyone else play their role around them, Horst explained following that trade. Dame and Giannis should be able to be their best selves, and that really is our best chance to win. Now, with Lillard sidelined and Middleton gone, Antetokounmpo will shoulder an even heavier burden as the team's lone all-star. This latest setback continues a tragic pattern of ill-timed injuries that have derailed Milwaukee's championship pursuits since their 2021 title. In 2022, Middleton suffered a left MCL sprain in the first round against Chicago, missing the second-round series against Boston that the Bucks ultimately lost in 7 games. The following year, Antetokounmpo sustained a lower back contusion in Game 1 against Miami.